Good evening, this is News Mongolia. I am Satlangkort in the MNB World studio. For our top stories, the latest updates on COVID-19 status in Mongolia. Mongolian Air Traffic Controller honored for preventing possible collision. Prime Minister L.Oyun-Erdene instructed Mongolian embassies abroad to pay special attention to vaccine supplies. For other news, stay tuned. The Ministry of Health and the National Center for Communicable Diseases held its daily press briefing to provide the latest updates on COVID-19 status in Mongolia. On Wednesday, Mongolia recorded 377 new cases of COVID-19.
377 new COVID-19 cases have been confirmed in the past 24 hours after 10,652 people were tested nationwide, and the country's total number of cases has reached 8,447. 95 more patients have recovered, and the total number of recoveries now makes up 58% of total cases. All new cases were confirmed domestically. 328 cases out of the new cases were confirmed in Ulaanbaatar, making the total number of cases in Ulaanbaatar 7,000, and 49 cases were recorded in Silink, Darkhanol, Arkhanga, Tuv, Khuvsgul, Ovs, Uurkhanga, Bolgang, and Hovd provinces. The percentage of positive cases out of tests taken in the past 24 hours is 3.54%, which is considerably higher than the percentage of the total number of positive cases out of all tests, which stands at 0.36%. Out of the 1,902 patients who are currently undergoing treatment at hospitals, 12 are in critical condition, 34 have severe, 219 have moderate, and 1,637 have mild symptoms. Unfortunately, in the past day, 2 patients, aged 69 and 84 respectively, have died. Around 1,000 patients with mild symptoms are isolated at home at the moment and are taking directions from officials.
Now we have special news about a Mongolian air traffic controller. On January 26th, Mr. Dawasambo successfully removed a threat of a possible collision of 2 airplanes in Mongolian airspace. Last week, his merit has been honored by the international public movement for providing safety for about 400 passengers. Dawasambo Bolt is the air traffic controller at the National Civil Aviation Center. On January 26th, he was on duty when a Korean airplane heading to Mongolia altered its height near the border area of the Mongolian-Russian air gate. Then it flew at the same altitude with the airplane of the Russian airline Aeroflot, which was departing from Mongolia. Mr. Dawasambo promptly assessed the possible danger and immediately gave a command to change course to the Aeroflot crew, which was in his control zone. He had only 1 minute to ensure safety for the total of around 400 passengers of the 2 airplanes.
The plane of Korean Air Company previously notified us that it would cross the Mongolian border at an altitude of 10,100 meters. But around 4 minutes before crossing the border, it suddenly increased its altitude and started flying on similar coordinates to the departing plane. When I noticed it, I made the airplane in our zone change its course. There are 9 air gates between Russia and Mongolia. The incident occurred at the air gate near Irkutsk city in Russia. The plane heading to Mongolia raised its altitude without permission and created a high risk of a potential plane crash with a plane in front of it.
Mr. Dawasambo's immediate action and proficiency was highly acknowledged by the international public movement called Air Navigation Without Borders, based in Russia. He has received a diploma stating, for special merits in ensuring flight safety in air traffic services. The administration also decided to mark his achievement in their gallery of historical events. The risk of plane accidents in the air route occurs very rarely, once or twice a year. The risk factors are mainly due to time zone differences and natural phenomena. When it comes to airspace safety assessment, Mongolia ranks 5th in Asia. The Prime Minister of Mongolia, L.Oyun-Erdene, worked at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs on Tuesday and tasked to increase the supply of vaccines.
The Prime Minister of Mongolia, L.Oyun-Erdene, worked at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs on Tuesday, March 30th. At the beginning of the meeting, Foreign Minister Batsitsik briefed him on the current state of Mongolia's foreign relations, future trends and issues to be addressed. Prime Minister L.Oyun-Erdene got acquainted with the activities of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and held an online meeting with the heads of the Mongolian diplomatic missions abroad. He spoke in detail about the government's policies and measures and commented on the work that needs to be done in the field of foreign relations. In particular, he said there was an urgent need to speed up the delivery of the COVID-19 vaccines to boost the immunization process and to increase foreign investment in the economic recovery of Mongolia. He also called on the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and diplomatic representative offices to work actively to restore the trust of the foreign partners and ensure the implementation of foreign policy in a unified manner and repatriate Mongolian citizens stuck abroad and protect their interests. During the e-meeting, the heads of diplomatic missions briefed the Prime Minister on completed tasks.
Now let's take a look at the currency exchange rates provided by Mongol Bank. The Mongolian national team played in Japan as part of the 2022 World Cup and the 2023 Asian Championship qualifiers. The match, which was supposed to take place in Mongolia but was postponed due to the pandemic, ended in a 0-14 defeat for Mongolia.
Mongolian national team, which lost 3-0 away to Tajikistan on the 25th of March, lost 6-0 in the previous match against Japan. The national team, which did not train for a long time due to the pandemic lockdown and did not participate in official matches for many months, played with the strongest team in Asia until the very end. Playing against high-paid players in major European leagues was an experience and lesson for the Mongolian national team. It is Japan's second biggest win, only behind a 15-0 win over the Philippines in 1967. Mongolia, who are ranked number 190 in the world, registered just 2 shots compared to Japan's 34. Werder Bremen striker Yuyo Asaka scored a hat-trick, while Liverpool midfielder Takumi Minamino, who is currently on loan to Southampton, was also on the score sheet. The win means Japan will advance to the next phase of Asia's qualifying tournament for the World Cup if they defeat Myanmar when the teams meet on June 3rd. It wasn't the first one-sided result of the week, as on Monday, Canada beat the Cayman Islands 11-0 in another World Cup qualifier. The Mongolian national team will play its qualifying match against Kyrgyzstan on June 7th.
Mongolianborn sumo grand champion Hakuho, who withdrew from the recent spring grand tournament with a knee injury, will remain subject to a stern warning over his repeated absences from competition. The sport's governing body decided on Monday.
Over the past 8 months,
At a regular meeting in Tokyo, the Japan Sumo Association's Yokozuna advisory body chose to uphold the warning it originally issued last November to Hakuho and fellow Mongolian-born grand champion Kakuryu, who has since retired. The Japan Sumo Association agreed to make a final decision on the matter after the summer basho, which Hakuho has identified for his comeback following surgery on his troublesome right knee. The 15-day March tourney concluded Sunday without a grand champion competing after both Hakuho and Kakuryu pulled out. Kakuryu, who was missing from a 5th straight meet, announced his retirement from competition during the tournament. Hakuho, the winner of a record 44 top division titles, won his first 2 bouts but dropped out on day 3 and later underwent endoscopic surgery to remove excess fluid from his swollen knee. According to his stablemaster Miyagino, Hakuho views the July meet at Dolphins Arena in Aichi Prefecture as make or break and will decide whether or not to retire based on his performance there. By July, Hakuho, the only current Yokozuna following Kakuryu's retirement, will have missed all or part of 6 straight meets, including the new returnee, which he was forced to skip due to positive COVID-19 test.
Now let's take a look at the weather forecast for the world's major cities. This is it for today. Thank you for staying with us. We'll see you tomorrow with more news and updates. Have a nice evening. Goodbye.